Don't you just love the smell of misogyny?
Well, every single man had multiple wives. Not a single woman had multiple husbands.
Okay, it's not misogyny. It's actually vegan nacho cheese. And as you can see, it has a pretty good consistency and it tastes just like nacho cheese. And I actually decided to make this because you might not know this, but I'm vegan. Been vegan for quite some time, but I was starting to get a little chunky. Okay, I was starting to get fat again for the second time, and I decided I was gonna shake things up and try to lose a bit of weight. It's actually working. My belt doesn't fit anymore. I need to go buy some new pants, and since I came back from America, you can check that video out here, I've actually lost about 22 pounds. So whatever I'm doing seems to be working. And that brings me into the topic of today's video. There was a personal trainer who runs a coaching business on TikTok, and he found a girl named Becky's video, and he decided that he was going to comment, if you will.
Right now, you might not be mentally ready. You have to come to that conclusion yourself.
Unsolicited, but what he ended up doing was just being a big old hole and a misogynist.
Well, every single man had multiple wives. Not a single woman had multiple husbands.
And I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step what he did that was a horrible business decision that could potentially come back and bite him later. Why you should avoid this, and explain step by step what he actually meant in this video. This trainer is nobody I would ever even remotely be interested in speaking to, not just because he looks like Sid from Ice Age.
Move it out, do the Sid, take it back, and do the Sid.
But because of his rhetoric, the way he speaks to people.
Right now, you might not be mentally ready. You have to come to that conclusion yourself.
And his entire business approach. It's just rude and nasty. And when I get to the end of this video, you're gonna understand why I'm saying he's a misogynist. So if you're interested in that, stick to the end of the video. And if you're finding this content interesting, or you want to understand how to not be a head whenever you are marketing your services online, click the like button, click the subscribe button. I would love to see you here every single week. This video is what I'm referring to. I don't like to make false claims, and I also like to back everything I say up with research. So in this video, the first thing he did that put off red flags in my mind was say that people don't realize how calorically dense food can be.
When there's a lot of fast food consumed in one day, some people don't realize just how high calorically dense that number can get.
However, this is a super weak argument, and it is simply a way for him to poke fun at someone who he does not even know. You're probably thinking,
Sean, yes, people have loads of issues.
Understanding if they're eating a lot of calories or if they're eating the right amount. Some people are in fact consuming more than they think. However, a research study by Harvard actually found you should stop counting calories altogether, because it doesn't matter what you're eating versus what someone else is eating. The way that our bodies process food is completely different, and you can eat the same thing that I do and be as big around as my finger. Meanwhile, I'm a whale. So that makes this a weak, baseless argument. This is a way to do business, and you should always remember the golden rule. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Help people, but don't do it at the expense of someone else. But that's not the worst of his actions in this video. He further went on to make multiple assumptions about her. And you know what it means when people make assumptions. It means it makes an out of you, and in this situation, only you. You are not present in Becky's life every single day. You don't know what she's living through. You don't know if she is battling with something else. BB Rexa, girl looks like she likes to eat. If you actually read and pay attention to what she's doing, she's battling with PCOS. So for this trainer to make assumptions about why Becky is in her current state, or make assumptions about anything that she's doing every single day, is absolutely absurd. Why are you chiming in about what she eats in a day? It's absolutely ridiculous, and it just shows that you do not understand that everything in life, especially business and people and emotions, has nuance. There's something called emotional intelligence, and if we are looking from a 0 to 10 scale, this personal trainer is very easily a -15, just because he cannot see that what he's doing is rude. He's actually convinced himself, Stockholm syndromed himself into thinking that this is an appropriate response to somebody's video. I'm gonna ignore them. I'm not even gonna engage with them. The second thing I'm gonna do is probably block them, because that's the type of person I don't want to interact with. As a personal trainer, you need to understand how to get people motivated in the mindset to actually lose weight, and you need to support them on this journey.
Right now, you might not be mentally ready. You have to come to that conclusion yourself.
But as a personal trainer, he doesn't understand what inclinivity is or how it actually affects the human brain and our personal achievements. Inclinivity, if you're unaware, actually means how inclined we are to do something based on the input we receive regarding an event that occurs or a situation that we are in. Immediately, by calling her out and blasting her, that shows a lack of understanding for human psychology and how humans work on the whole. Why do you think, as a coach, this person would ever be qualified to work with people and actually motivate to get something done if he does not understand basic human psychology and inclinivity? That's not exactly a great look if you're trying to position yourself or your business as an expert coach, because coaches work with mindset. He should be aware that a supportive, positive approach from every angle is the best way to approach anything, whether you're learning a language, trying to lose weight. If you come at somebody with negativity, they're gonna shut off and they're gonna completely disregard you.
But I don't mind the negative comments. I'm a grown man with a purpose.
By making a response to her video, all he did was set the tone for negativity, which is, according to research, going to stunt her ability to take the steps she needs to actually lose weight. And in the video, he does mention constructive feedback
about me. Now, I haven't watched the whole thing. It wasn't like it was a well-informed video.
How can you even come to that conclusion if you never fully watched the video? By the way, the end was where the most constructive feedback was given.
But I think what I'm saying here is much more constructive than anything that he spoke about in his response to her, "What do you eat in a day?" Since we're speaking about feedback, did you catch the part about when he says, "Becky, I've got an offer for you, but you might not be mentally ready"?
Free one-on-one coaching. Right now, you might not be mentally ready. You have to come to that conclusion yourself to get the results you want.
When we talk about linguistics and grammar, might is a special type of word. It's called a modal verb. It indicates possibility, and depending on the word you choose, it indicates whether or not you are making an assumption based on that possibility. So when he says,
Right now, you might not be mentally ready. You have to come to that conclusion yourself.
what he's actually saying is,
I don't think you're ready for this, so I'm going to throw out a fake offer that you're probably not going to take, and I'm going to make it valid for 3 years.
by setting his statement up, by saying, you might not be ready, again, he's making more assumptions about Becky, her mindset, and who she is every single day as a person. And the irony of this here is that he's telling Becky that she's assuming a lot about him based on her responses to the video that he made, when in reality, it's pretty hilarious that he is doing the exact same thing to her and he is failing to realize it. And on a professional level, we got to be honest with each other. If you went to work in the office and you did something like this, somebody would complain and there's a good chance HR would be reaching out to you. What he has done in this video is totally condescending, unprofessional, and I'm just baffled by it. It gets a little bit better than that when you look at this holistically, because this coach lives in the United States, but Becky lives in the United Kingdom. Apps, stuff like this, you can send eating plans, you can send workout plans, you can send diet plans, but the true value of a personal trainer, and I know because look, I've lost loads of weight. I used to go to a personal trainer. The real value there lies with actually having somebody to support you and keep you moving during these very difficult workouts that you're going to be doing if you're trying to lose large amounts of weight. So unless he's planning on flying to the UK every time she's going to do a workout, or, getting into his chimney and using some flu powder, I see this offer as something super baseless, and that time period of 3 years, you might be thinking,
This is amazing.
but ask yourself, would you contact somebody who made a video criticizing you online, trying to, package it up as, I'm teaching other people stuff? I definitely would not contact this person. As someone who runs 2 businesses, this looks like a PR stunt, and this is further reinforced by how he finishes up the video. He immediately moves into a form of copywriting where he is saying,
and we can include some of the food that you love in moderation.
you know, everybody knows they get large when they overeat. It's not a secret. But the thing that really upset me about this and made me angry is the more misogynistic side of it.
I want the power to say to my woman, you're not going out. Just going out. Really?
Because once he gets into the end of the video, he starts rattling off all these benefits of his coaching course, all these benefits of why people should work with him, but he's directing it at Becky.
I do care. That's why I made it only about the food that was posted on the internet for everyone to see. Since you insist that this is all about you, how about I show you I do care? I'm a personal trainer and I'll offer you free one-on-one coaching.
However, a lot of what we hear when we're hearing benefits in copywriting, that's the reptilian brain. We are not thinking logically about it. We hear it, we get some dopamine, and it sticks with us. And that's one of the reasons I think that this personal trainer has gone through and made a response to this video, because he knows when he gets these benefits at the end and he starts rattling them off, what's going to stick with people is what they want to hear. My coaching is, you know, low intensity, for your level, personalized, so you can do it. All these benefits is what's going to stick with people, not what he's saying about Becky. Which brings me to the connection of how is this misogynistic? He basically used a woman who is in a situation that he deems inappropriate for publicity, for promotion and marketing for his own course and his own services. Isn't that the definition of misogyny? Using a woman for what you want so that you have a personal benefit? I want to talk about why this is so prevalent in today's world, because you'll see it online all the time where people are super rude to others, and it's actually something called the disinhibition effect. It means people feel less accountable for what they do online than they would in person, because I guarantee you this personal trainer would not walk up to Becky and say,
You're fat, and it's because of what you're eating, and I'm gonna make a video about it because I don't want other people to be as fat as you.
At the end of the day, the distance between the two and the internet, he felt like he had a level of anonymity, and really to me that just screams inferiority, because if you have to bring other people down in order to make your business thrive, then you are an awful person. So next time you're considering different marketing paths for your business, I want you to choose empathy and actually consider the people that you're reaching out to and whether or not your marketing materials are going to negatively affect any single one of them. If it is, you should probably not take that path for marketing. That's it for today. Follow me for more empathetic marketing and research-backed marketing, not just spouting out whatever we want. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.